Hi, hello, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather. This is Miss Finn. And this video is all about my 6th week of treatment with Spravato. Kind of. We'll get to that. Spravato, or esketamine, is an FDA-approved treatment for treatment-resistant depression. It is a dissociative anesthetic, meaning it causes dissociation, and I also have a dissociative disorder. In this weekly series, I share my experience of undergoing treatment, as well as tips and tricks that I learn along the way, and just my overall progress as I undergo this treatment. I do have a list of my tips and tricks, which I'll put up on the screen for you to screenshot. In my week 3 video, I go in depth as to why each of these things are on the list, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. I think that's it for the introduction. So let's move on. I felt great the whole week until the day before my 10th treatment. The day before treatment started out fine. I felt good. I was getting the week 5 video done. No issues at all. But then, in the last hour or so of editing, I started to really struggle, which that used to be the norm for me, but ever since I started Spravato, I really haven't. I did still get it done, and I wasn't as bad as I was pre-Spravato, but it was a change. That evening, I noticed that relatively minor inconveniences felt way worse than they should have, and that overall my mood wasn't great for seemingly no reason. In hindsight, I should have known what was going on, but it's okay. In hindsight, I should have realized what was going on because even though it was relatively subtle, it was still a shift or a change in my mood that was unusual and rather sudden. Any guesses as to what was causing it? If you said my period, you would be right. A week late, but you know, my cycle loves being unpredictable. So, on that note, I didn't have my usual PMDD symptoms. That's good. But did have more of what you'd probably call PMS. We can move on from that. The morning of treatment, I was still in a pretty bad mood, and I knew I wasn't going to be with Alice, so that made me feel pretty crummy. To make matters even worse, in my head, I was with another new tech, or new to me, and I thought, okay, great. How much anxiety am I going to have this time?
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not.
Real negative Nancy. I know. And it turns out it was totally unwarranted because that tech was great. She was very kind and calming and attentive, and the room was really nice. I hadn't been in that room before either, so it was all good. She took my blood pressure, that was all good, and so she went and got the nurse and a med student to actually give me the doses. So they came in, gave me the doses, and hung out for, probably like 10 to 15 minutes while things started really kicking in, and once I was all clear there, they left, and I sat back in my chair and got ready for the experience. And here's where I'm going to let you guys down. I want to start by saying that I'm sorry because this video is not going to be like my other ones, where I share my experience in as much detail as I can. That's because my experience this week was very personal to me. Over these last few days, I've really been debating whether or not to share it with you because on the one hand, I want to, but there's really no way for me to talk about it without revealing what dissociative disorder I have. Obviously, I haven't hid the fact that I have a dissociative disorder, but I have deliberately refrained from disclosing which disorder it is because it's rather controversial, I guess you could say. And I mean, I know that just saying that little bit pretty much gives it away, but I'm afraid to talk about it because there are a number of people and organizations that have made it their mission to try and prove or convince other people that the disorder isn't real. And they target and attack people who are public with their diagnosis. Trust me, I know that makes me a fraud, and I feel like one, because the whole reason why I started this channel is to destigmatize mental illness. Meanwhile, I'm too afraid of the stigma to talk about one of my own.
Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Filth! Slime! Muck! Boo! Boo! Boo!
I've been talking with my therapist about it, about whether or not I want to open myself up to all that. And in the future, I may end up talking about it. In fact, I hope I do, because ultimately I want to help other people. And I don't want to continue to allow fear and the misinformed opinions of a handful of people prevent me from doing something that I feel is right and that I care about and gives me a sense of purpose. The reason why I decided to make these videos about Spravato was not only because I couldn't find many first-hand accounts from people who had done it, but more so because I couldn't find any from people who have the same disorder or dissociative disorders in general. And until now, I haven't felt like I had a good reason to open myself up to being targeted and attacked. But I keep thinking about all of the other people out there with this disorder who maybe are considering doing something like Spravato, but are hesitant because they don't know what the F is going to happen if they do. As much as a part of me, a big part of me, wants to share this experience with you, I know that it's likely not even relatable to you, and I don't know if I'm ready to go down that route yet. So I've decided not to share this one. Now, if you are curious or have this same disorder and really want to know, let me know in the comments or email me at NicePeopleTalk@gmail.com and I'll gladly share the experience with you. Again, I'm sorry this isn't the kind of video you were expecting, but to make it up to you, I am going to post a bonus video where I share my experience with benzodiazepines and being in a psych ward. So keep an eye out for that. I think that's going to do it for this video. I won't even ask you to like and subscribe on this one. But as always, if you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them in the comments and I will respond to them. It really does mean the world to me that you guys take the time to show your support and celebrate with me and share your own experiences. It's the highlight of my days. So thank you. And with that, I hope you all have a great week, and I will be seeing you next week with a regular video. Bye. Say goodbye, Finn. Okay, bye.